Hi, my name is Lottie. I'm a professional makeup artist and I'm going to show you my tips for using concealer and getting a natural look. I've already prepped Anastasia's skin with moisturizer and eye cream, and now I'm going to apply foundation using the Beauty Blender Bounce. I like to always start with foundation because then I can see what areas of the face need more coverage or more color. Anastasia has really great skin, so I'm just using a small amount of Bounce to even out any discoloration. I like to use the tip of the blender and press into the skin with a rolling motion on areas where I need a little bit more coverage or more color deposit. Now I'm going to go in with the Beauty Blender Bounce Concealer. So the Bounce Concealer contains hyaluronic acid and peptides to help moisturize and plump and smooth out the skin under the eyes so that you don't get that creasy, cakey, heavy look. It also has 3 application options. It has a rounded side shaped like the Beauty Blender, a flat side where you can get more coverage by laying the color on, and you can also use the tip for spot concealing. So when picking your concealer, you want to make sure that if you want a natural finish, that you pick a color that's very close to your foundation shade, maybe 1 shade lighter. If you want a concealer to illuminate and brighten and highlight, then you want to pick something that's 1 to 2 shades lighter than your foundation color. I want a natural look, so I picked something that's very close to her foundation. So I like a more natural finish, so I tend to use a very small amount of concealer. So I would just apply a small dot under the eye and there. I like to use the same Beauty Blender I used for foundation. That way it sort of blends with the color and you get a seamless finish. So you can just bounce the tip of the blender where you need the coverage and any discoloration canceling out. If I wanted to do a little more coverage, I could use the flat side of the applicator and just hug in the crevice right under the eye here. You could also create a triangle, or if you wanted to cover somebody's darkness that maybe went out further past the eye, then you could do more dots or blend it across this way. She doesn't really need that much, so I'm just doing a swipe here and blending that out. Just to show you a little more coverage on this side. You can use your foundation to do your whole face and under your eye, but you don't want to build up too much foundation under the eye because it's not really meant for that, and you can get creasing or it could look cakey. So I prefer to use a concealer, something like this, that is more concentrated in smaller amounts blended in to your already applied foundation. So now that I've done her under eye, I can see that she can use maybe just a tad more. So I'm just going to do 1 little dot there, 1 dot there, and I'm also going to do a little bit of concealing around the nose and on the sides of the mouth. The reason I'm using that particular shade for those areas is because the center of the face is the only place really where you want a little bit more lightness. So you would use the same concealer to brighten up the center of the face, just to bring those forward and have a nice balance with the rest of the skin. For spot concealing, you want to use a shade that's closer to your foundation color so that it's a little more seamless. So this shade is closer to her skin tone, and I'm going to use this to do a little bit of spot concealing where I need it. So I'm just going to do a little dot there and a couple dots here where she's got a little bit of scarring. And then same Beauty Blender, and just lightly bounce just with the tip of the blender and then around the area. And because I'm using the same blender, which has her foundation color still in it, that's gonna just kind of marry all the colors together. Some people might want to spot conceal with foundation, but I think concealer is better because you need a smaller amount and it's not going to get cakey, whereas foundation, you kind of have to build it up and build it up to cover even little spots. Once you have the areas that you need covered, you can sort of go around the area and just blend out with whatever's left in your sponge so that you get more of a seamless color. Another way you can use concealer is using a shade that's 2 to 3 shades darker than your skin tone for contour. So I apply contour just below the cheekbone and then blend out with my blender. For this, I'm going to press and roll the blender so that I really blend that into the skin. When blending, you want to blend up instead of down because you want to lift the face. I'm also going to apply the contour around her hairline. Press and roll, just really blend it into the rest of the foundation. I'm going to curl the lashes and do some mascara. I'm just going to brush up the brows. Now that her base is finished, I'm just gonna do a little bit of powder, just where she needs it, in the center of the forehead, and on the sides of the nose, and the tip of the nose. I don't need to powder under the concealer because it is self-setting, and I love the natural finish of it. And that's it.